Hello and good day everyone. So for this video, I'll be continuing the elements of introduction, mainly the statement of the problem, objectives of the study, and the significance of the study. And without further ado, let us know what is the statement of the problem. So the statement of the problem is a concise and specific summary that clearly defines the issue or gap in knowledge a research aims to address. It contextualizes the problem within existing knowledge, describes what is not yet understood, and highlights the relevance and urgency of addressing the issue. Leedy and Ormrod of 2005 entails that the research problem serves as the starting point for the research and is a unifying thread that runs throughout all the elements of the research endeavor. And according to Creswell of 2005, a viable research problem is usually noted at the introduction of the research manuscript to identify why the study is important. So basically, this is the thesis statement that clearly and concisely summarizes the main point or argument of the research paper. Ellis and Levy of 2008 states that a research endeavor might be best viewed as a structure that incorporates a number of distinct but related elements, including the research problem that drives the study, the goals, research questions, review of the literature, methodology, results, and conclusion. So this is what Leedy and Ormrod of 2005 entails, that the research problem is a unifying thread that runs throughout all the elements of the research endeavor. And the research problem serves as the basis for the interrelatedness of the distinct elements entailed in research. So I have here a figure of a conceptual map of the problem-based research cycle. It illustrates this interrelatedness by providing a conceptual map of the problem-based research cycle, indicating the centrality of the research problem for the research endeavor. So as shown in this figure, there is a two-way relationship between the research problem, the goals, and the associated research questions and/or hypothesis. A research study goal is the major intent or objective of the study used to address the problem, research questions, narrow the purpose or goal into specific questions that the researcher would like answered or addressed in the study. The nature of the research problem being addressed delimits the possible goals for a study. Certain characteristics of the problem, such as the domain from which it is drawn, how long it has been acknowledged, as well as how much and what type of research has already been conducted on it, impact what type or types of methodology is appropriate. The type of methodology being used must be appropriate for the nature of the problem driving that research. The methodology produces the results of the study, and the literature serves as the foundation upon which that research is built. The presence of the research problem is almost always established through the literature review, which in turn produces the evidences needed to permit the conclusions suggested that answers and addresses the research problem. Now, let's delve in a little deeper to the objectives of the study. Research objectives are clear, specific statements that describe what the research intends to accomplish. It breaks down the broader research aim into concrete steps or tasks that guide the research process, categorizes research objectives into descriptive, exploratory, explanatory, predictive, and evaluative types, each guiding different aspects of the research process, such as describing a phenomena, exploring new topics, explaining relationships, forecasting outcomes, or assessing effectiveness. Hassan of 2024 states that research objectives are specific goals or questions that guide the research process. They are typically set during the initial stages of a study and shape how the researcher collects, analyzes, and interprets data. And here are the types of research objectives. First, we have the descriptive objectives. Describe the characteristics, behaviors, or conditions within a particular group or setting. For example, to describe the demographics of social media users. Second, we have the exploratory objectives. It investigates a topic or phenomenon that has not been thoroughly studied, aiming to identify patterns, themes, or ideas. For example, to explore customer preferences and such. Third, we have the explanatory objectives. This explains relationships between variables or determine why certain patterns or trends occur. For example, we have to examine the relationship between. Fourth would be the predictive objectives. It forecasts the outcomes or behaviors based on observed patterns or trends. So, for example, to predict changes in consumer. And lastly, we have the evaluative objectives. It assesses the effectiveness of a particular program, policy, or intervention. So, for example, to evaluate the impact of a new teaching method. And now let us move to the significance of the study. The significance of the study is a written statement that explains why the research is important. It justifies the need for the study by outlining its potential impact on the field, its contribution to new knowledge, and the benefits to specific groups or society at large. According to Hassan of 2024, it is highlighted as a crucial section that explains the relevance and importance of the research topic, which not only justifies the research but also attracts interest and enhances the credibility of the study. The significance of the study is a brief section that highlights theoretical contributions, how the study advances knowledge in the field, practical applications, the real-world implications and uses of the research findings, and the beneficiaries who will benefit from the studies. For example, we have the students, the professionals, and the policymakers. Let us also know why is the significance of the study important. First, it highlights relevance. It demonstrates why the research is worth conducting. Second, it engages stakeholders. It attracts interest from those who can benefit from the findings. Third, it enhances credibility. It shows the study's alignment with academic and practical needs. And lastly, guides future research. It lays the groundwork for further investigations. Now let us try to understand the significance of research in our everyday lives. So the basic aim is to gain knowledge, and it leads to many ideas and changes old facts. Research also leads to discovery and innovation of unknown facts and unexplored theories. It also leads to the growth of the society and its citizens. It gives chance to the researcher to go deep into the subject and to innovate it. It also avoids superstitious beliefs, myths, and prejudices, and many ancient beliefs and myths have been proven wrong with the help of research. It also leads to the development of social welfare and society. Research also helps in framing of policies. Research helps in the framing of various government policies. It is also used in business organization. Many business companies hire researchers to work on various things. It is used in studying the changes taking place in the market. Research is a fountain of knowledge, which helps in solving all government policies, educational matters, business problems, avoids superstitious beliefs, and helps in the development and maturity of society and its citizens.